So, Mr. Chaz, the next question has to do with teenagers. Uh, so we've been through it. Some of them are going through it, and maybe some are planning to have some teenagers later on. So, how do we deal with teenagers with raging hormones who seek new relationships yet have their hearts broken easily? Yeah.
Right. Oh, I have to rewind several years back in time to think of an answer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think teenagers is a very boisterous period in all of our lives because our hormones are really running wild. But instead of just looking at that issue as a teenage issue, if we look at it as something that has to revolve around the questions of identity and the question of value and worth that is attached to their identity, and the importance of relationships,
Mhm.
and the question of purpose. I think we will be able to give a holistic response. Oftentimes youngsters want to very prematurely enter into relationships, be it just hanging around with a circle of friends, or be it having a very serious relationship with one person, that they are considering seriously to be their life partner. Whichever it is, I think it is all flowing out of how we are innately wired. All of us, created in the image and likeness of God, have this desire to be loved and also have this ability to love. Okay, that's
Mhm.
how God created us. And we were created to love God, and we were created to receive God's love, and we were created to love each other and receive love from each other. But in this particular culture, especially if you're going through a lot of hormonal highs and lows during your adolescence and teenage years, I think the idea of love, gets really very, minimized to only an idea of erotic love,
Mhm.
only an idea of sexual love. So I
Mhm.
think we will do well if we taught our children, in our homes and in the Sunday school and churches, about what love is and about what image each one of us bears, that we bear the image and likeness of God, and what is the scope of love and why we are created with this relationality. Then we would do
Mhm.
well to form and foster healthy relationship with each other, even though our hormones are running wild. And when this perspective and this framework is given, we won't be forming quick relationships, just to satisfy some bodily hungers. We would value relationship. We would value the person in front of you as an image of God, created much like you, and that God is that person's maker, and that God is that person's owner or father, as it were. And we don't have the liberties to go and meddle with anybody and have multiple relationships, break hearts, get hearts broken, and so on and so forth. Then the idea of marriage, when we teach our children and our youth about the sanctity of marriage and the values that are associated with it, the way the Bible describes it, all of these will help them form a framework of what sexuality is, what love is, what relationships are, what identity is, what purpose is, and what marriage is. And when they get a bird's eye picture of all of this, I'm hoping and I'm assuming that the way they approach relationships would be very, very different. The way they
Mhm.
engage in relationships would be very, very different. And if at all, God forbid, they enter into one relationship and it gets broken, just for the sake of showing that they can continue to, have another relationship, they won't be going in search of a relationship. They'll have a level of contentment, and they will know that their belonging is primarily in the idea that they are children of God, and they will not seek identity and satisfaction prematurely in wrong places, out of bounds. Yeah.
Mhm.